Please welcome to the table Ben Zimmer. Ben, thanks very much for joining us. Now, how long have you been involved with Silicon Halton?
It's been a little less than a year now for me.
Tell us about your company.
My company, Enable Education. We're based in Milton.
We're neighbors, as it turns out.
Yeah, and as it turns out, as is so often the case when you get involved into this kind of networking, you realize that the guy you walk by, the woman you walk by at Tim Hortons is not only your neighbor, but someone who's got services and capabilities that you really ought to be talking to.
Right.
It was actually a local high school teacher, a robotics teacher, who made the recommendation to me to say, hey, you've got to check out the Silicon Halton. At that time, I looked it up as a LinkedIn group and joined it that way, and
right.
Came out to the first event, which was kind of eye-opening to see dozens and dozens of people there in my community offering services and having capability that wow, I really need to talk to that person because I really need, I'm having trouble finding someone who can help me with that. And
right.
Sometimes you just need that 30-second conversation to get you started realizing what you don't know that you don't know, and that's what's been of the greatest value to me is being able to talk to these people.
Well, first and foremost, before we get too deep into this, tell us about your company, because I've had a chance to watch a few videos on YouTube and stuff. I thought they were pretty cool. So just tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, Enable Education's had a really interesting few years. We've had tremendous growth over the last couple of years. I was what you call a solopreneur. It was my wife and I for the first year and a half, have a laptop, we'll travel kind of consulting company. And over the last 4 years, we've grown from 2 to 5 to 10 to 15, and now we're at 20 people. And unfortunately, I'm having to break 18 months into a 5-year lease to grow into a larger space in Milton. And what we do is we create media-rich educational materials for companies. And we got started there in the robotics world for high school kids. And we did a whole bunch of training videos to help kids learn how to program robots, because that happened to be what my personal experience was. And that went over really well. It was interesting. One of the large supporters of one of the large corporations based in the States that supported these kids called me up and said, we keep getting thanked for our great tutorial videos. We're not doing tutorial videos. Who are you? Come on down. Let's talk at the World Championships. And so we got very involved in an ecosystem where we were creating educational videos, tutorial videos targeting high school kids, teaching them really complicated engineering topics.
Video is huge today. It's just it's so graphic, right?
Exactly.
I have to tell you that in preparation for the shows, most oftentimes Anthony, our producer, gives me a bit of background information about our guests. And my truck is in the shop right now, and I drive a Suburban, and it's in the shop. And I got a call from a GM dealer here in Milton, who will remain nameless, Wallace, and he said the rear differential's gone in your truck. And I'm thinking, oh my God. I mean, okay, that's a whole other issue, and I drive lots and lots of highway miles, and we tow, and it makes sense. It's part of maintenance. And I click on this YouTube link that Anthony sent me, and it's like, this is how the differential works, and it's a graphic showing a little Lego truck and different ways and different things spinning and how the wheels will spin at different rates. I'm thinking, this is like incredibly apropos. I can't believe it. But what I was impressed by was how it was explained and how something as complicated can be made to look so simplistic.
Exactly.
That was fantastic.
Well, hey, I appreciate that. And I think that's the keys to our success over the last little while. And you mentioned Lego, and Lego Education North America is one of our largest customers. And they're a great partner to have worked with. And we create all kinds of material that support the products that they sell to teachers into various grades of classrooms. And one of the problems is you need to make sure that not only the kids, but the teacher has a really low barrier of entry, so they can start using this high-tech tool and be able to run with it and have almost guaranteed success out of the gate. And that's really been what our company has done and what has fostered a lot of growth over the last few years. And I've built up a really amazing team. I've got an eclectic mix of software developers, certified teachers, graphic designers, audio and video production, and web and app development, because that whole package has really been the key to our success